Can we hear it again for Star Penders and the girls from Auckland Harmony Academy? Let's get yourself back on the stage here, for you already know. I heard a little bit about Star and her kind of path to being a professional, moving towards being a professional actress, and I'm really fascinated, so I'm going to ask her a few questions, which I'm sure are in your minds as well. So before we start, tell me about your name.
So my mum and dad really loved like old cult films, so The Lost Boys is the 80s vampire film, and there was a woman called Star in it, and they thought it was really cool, so that's where my name came from.
That's just a fantastic story. So apart from the fact you were named for where you were heading, what took you into drama first of all?
So I remember my first ever karaoke CD was the High School Musical CD. That came out when I was about 7, I think. So I got that CD, I think, as a birthday present, and I took it on holiday with me and requested that the karaoke guy put it on, and I sang every song on the CD at the karaoke. And before that I started like drama classes, and we used to write like crazy musicals in the kind of summer schools and things. And that was where I was just like, yeah, this can be weird, it can be wacky, it doesn't need to be like, I'm a serious actor. So yeah, it started kind of through comedy, karaoke, so it was singing and acting. And then I've had a really long path since then. And I took a break from it for a bit and wanted to be a surgeon. And then started going back to drama classes, went through the youth theatre in Largs. And then when I went to school, started doing school shows and things. And that's where I found out about the transitions programme at the RCS, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. And this was really interesting to me because you could choose your own pathway. So I started off doing musical theatre, then I was acting, then musical theatre, then back to acting, and they got a wee bit annoyed with me. And finally settled on musical theatre, and this helped me get into college, which then helped me get into drama school. And I'm going into my final year next week.
So tell me a bit about the Transitions programme, because not everyone will have heard of that before.
So the Transitions programme is an access, so like a widening access to the arts programme. So it's based off income, postcode, that kind of thing. And they basically fund you to do classes at the conservatoire. So you can do weekly classes, Saturday classes, or you can also do juniors at the conservatoire, and they'll fund that for you. They also mentor you, help you get into drama school, help you do auditions, and basically get you in the right position to go off and do it as a career.
I think I saw an advert for it quite recently. It's obviously still active.
Yeah.
So if any young budding actors and singers out there, keep an eye out for them. Yeah. So talking of budding actors and singers, what would be your advice to the next Star Penders that's coming up behind you? The little one in High School Musical, whatever it would be now.
I think just go for it. I mean, there were so many doubts in my head growing up. I don't think I realised that this could be a career for so long, probably not until 5th year at school. And I just kept thinking, oh, this is fun, this is great, but I need to focus now on something that I'm actually going to do. And then when I realised that I could do it, I was like, oh, I could have been doing this the whole time. I could have had a singing teacher, could have been getting these proper like lessons and training. So then I had doubt about, oh, am I in the right place? Because I'd started so late in terms of doing it as a career and focusing on that path. But I just worked as hard as I could.
And I'll just say you're still very young. I think
yes, I am. Very young.
So tell me about how you got involved in the Cartridge Girls project.
So I had seen a post that Jack had put on about the play and advertising for auditions, and I looked at it and I was like, this looks great, and I researched a bit online about what the play was actually about, because I didn't know about the explosion or anything to do with Nobel's explosives factory. So I did a bit of research and I was like, this is great, this looks really cool, but I didn't think I'd get the opportunity to do it because I was still in university. So I left it and I was like, oh, that's sad, but I'll let this one go. Something like this will come up again. And then I actually got a message from Jack, and it was like a sign to audition for it. My name had been passed on, so I went to the audition thinking, oh, this is cool, but it's a professional job, this is work, so I'm probably not ready yet. And then got the email to say that I've got the part, and it's very exciting.
That's a lovely moment. So tell me about Annie, the character that you played. Just tell me a bit about her, and then why her story matters so much.
So Jack's just explained really well Annie Brannan, but I think to me, she again is somebody that everybody knows. She's got a lot of punch, she's got a lot of vulnerability and heart, but she's also like a little firecracker. She's crazy. She's got so much energy and passion for what she like dreams about. But also you don't want to get on the wrong side of Annie Brannan because she will fight you. I think I can definitely relate to the character. I think in school I was always hanging about with boys and I was like rough and rugged and wanted to just like play fighting games and wrestling and stuff in the playground and not play horses with all the other girls. But also just really appreciate the people around me and my friends and respect everybody. And I think, I really relate to the character. And I think that's why I loved it so much. She's a great character.
So from what I've heard other people say, audiences seem to really connect with Annie particularly. Why do you think that is?
I think it is just because she's so real. I think the rest of the characters are real, but you're seeing every single side of Annie. You're seeing like everything I've just described, but you're seeing her in her most vulnerable, sad moments when somebody gets hurt or when something scary happens, but you're also seeing her in moments where she's actually having a fight on stage. And then you're seeing her giggling and laughing away with her little sister. And I think the fact that she has a sister as well and shows care and respect for somebody. But she's just so real. Everyone knows her. And I think that's why people can relate and connect.
I definitely worked with an Annie not that long ago. In the programme for the original production at RD, you describe yourself as having a passion for Scottish theatre and the stories we must share. Tell me a bit about that.
I think Scottish theatre is a really unique thing compared to like big commercial theatre down in London or Broadway or anything like this. Scotland's really, it attacks the stories that we all need to hear and that we all have went through ourselves. So the stories about working class and the culture and small towns and the culture in cities like Glasgow and just friendships and how people relate to each other and how people talk and pub culture and all these kind of things, which actually led me to wanting to write as well about the things that I know and from working in a pub in the East End of Glasgow, coming from Largs, it's two completely different things. But I learned a lot along the way, and I think theatre is really important to tell these stories and to, like this play takes a real story that happened that might not have been spread as widely, and there's now people from all over Scotland that have probably come to see this and heard about it and seen it on Facebook and went, oh, that looks interesting, instead of just Hamilton, which is like a history that everybody probably knows. This is something it's niche and it's small and the story needs to be shared.
Yeah, I agree. In that same programme, you also describe yourself as, and you kind of alluded to it there, you describe yourself as incredibly passionate about working class Scotland and the class issues within. So I know that you're working on your own play that's kind of exactly on that subject. Can you tell us a bit about that? Yeah,
I think for me, in terms of being passionate about the working class Scotland, and I think I'm really passionate about getting people into the arts and doing things like this to make people aware that everyone can do it. It's not an elitist thing, although it seems like it in a lot of places. Lots of places are, like you have to have all this money to be able to go and do it, but it's not really the case. And there is funding programmes, there is places out there like transitions and colleges and things, there's other paths. But in terms of the play, I've met amazing people from working in this pub in the East End, like older men that come in every day and tell me their life stories about where they worked, and some are retired, some are still working, talking about their children and talking about their lives growing up with nothing essentially, but how happy they can be from making the most out of the little things. And I think that's my favourite part, is to hear that. And coming from a working class background and being able to do this has been a big achievement for me. And I think, trying to inspire that and push that in other people is important to me.
And so apart from the play, what's next for Star Penders?
I'm starting my final year in about a week's time, doing 3 shows and a showcase and trying to find an agent. And then going out into the big terrifying world that is the industry. but yes, trying to get work.
Well, I think I'll join everyone else and wishing you all the very best of luck. I think you'll want to watch definitely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Steph.